Hello. Today in this video I will discuss grassroots political organizing, gender equality, civil rights, and social inclusion. Grassroots movements are movements that are harnessing the power of the masses to bring on political change. These movements can essentially create community engagement and scale up without relying on large donor funding. Grassroots movements use individuals in a given district as the basis for political or economic movement. They are movements and organizations that use collective action from the local level to affect change at not only the local but the regional, national, or international levels as well. They are considered more natural and spontaneous, rather than the traditional structures that are focused on being more bottom-up rather than top-down with decision-making. Grassroots includes a variety of strategies, such as fundraising and registering voters, to simply encouraging political conversation, continuing to stay focused on increasing mass participation in politics. Small donor fundraising, text messages, phone calls, social media posts, petitions, and protests, as well as rallies, have all been parts of the grassroots approach. There are more than just one grassroots movements that have captured all of our attention, but today I will just discuss one. I will be focusing on the individual movement, which began with a 23-page guide that was posted on Google Docs by a group of current as well as former congressional staffers. This document included ways in which citizens could lobby their representatives by attending town halls, calling congressional offices, visiting their offices, and even showing up at public events. Eventually, the guide expanded to form the individual movement with a website that held even more resources on how to use the guide. Indivisible workers wanted to ensure that voters were aware about the actions of their representatives throughout the time they were in the office and guided the individuals' ways to engage with their representatives and ensure that the reps abide by collective interests. The Indivisible movement identified a way in which citizens were to partake in the political process and make sure their votes were heard. Tons of indivisible local branches have opened in congressional districts across the country, and they continue to empower thousands and thousands of liberals and progressives to take action. The Indivisible movement most recently celebrated the U.S. Senate rejection of the bill to repeal Obamacare. They put tons of effort into working together to achieve that goal. Gender equality is an important issue in today's society. Gender equality, also known as sexual equality, is the state of equal access to resources and opportunities, regardless of gender, including economic participation in decision-making, and the state of valuing different behaviors, aspirations, and needs equally, regardless of the gender. It was said in the ABC of Women's Workers' Rights and Gender Equality, ILO, that gender equality between men and women, entails the concept that all human beings, both men and women, are free to develop their personal abilities and make choices without the limitations set by stereotypes, rigid gender roles, and prejudice. Although gender equality is a goal, gender neutrality and gender equity are practices that help in the thinking of achieving the goal of gender equality. In 2017, the global movement for gender equality was not incorporated by the proposition of genders besides women and men, or gender identities outside of the gender binary. On a global scale, achieving the goal of gender equality also means stopping harmful and violent practices. These practices include sex trafficking, wartime sexual violence, and other oppressive tactics against women and girls. As far As of 2017, gender equality is the 5th out of 17 Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations. Civil rights are a class of rights in which protect individuals' freedom from infringement by governments, social organizations, and private individuals. They allow individuals to participate in civil and political life of society and state without having to deal with discrimination or repression. Civil rights include ensuring of individual physical and mental integrity, life and safety, protection from discrimination such as race, gender, national origin, color, age, political affiliation, ethnicity, religion, sexual orientation, gender identity, disability, as well as individual rights and privacy such as freedom of thought, speech, religion, press, assembly, and movement. Some movements that have taken aim of securing observance of civil rights include the civil rights movement in the United States, where rights of black citizens have been violated, the Northern Ireland Civil Rights Association, and even some movements in communist countries such as the Prague Spring and Charter 77. Social inclusion is the act of making all groups of people within a society feel valued and important. It brings together numerous rights that must be dealt with at the local level, such as the rights to housing, education, clean water, and health care. Social inclusion faces some challenges such as limited access to social services and/or inadequate housing. Social inclusion helps improve the terms of participation in society, specifically for those who are disadvantaged through enhancing opportunities, access to resources, and voice and respect for rights. Social workers assist in redistribution of social work by promoting social change, problem solving in human relationships, and empowerment to individuals to help enhance their well-being. Social workers help organize and secure efforts of the highest personal and social satisfaction of individuals, groups, and communities while enabling all people to develop their full potential, all while bettering today's society. Thank you.